In this video, I took the regular versions of the Squid Game characters and upgraded them. The first character I'm going to upgrade is Player 456. I already have his 3D model, and the first thing I need to do is delete all the parts, because I'm going to completely rebuild him from scratch. My idea is to turn him into a dragon. I start with the central body. I use one long cube as the base. Then I duplicate it and place it slightly higher to form the neck. Next, I build the tail. It's made out of 4 segments, each slightly smaller than the last and curved slightly backward. Now I move on to the legs. I start with a large cube going down from the body. That's the thigh. Then I connect it to a slanted rectangle that becomes the shin. At the bottom, I add the foot. Wide and blocky. For symmetry, I duplicate the entire leg and place it on the other side. The most important part, the wings. I build them out of 3 large plates. The first one is attached to the back and is the shortest. The second one is angled and longer. The third one is the widest, and the last one I build, and it's the shortest again. Each part is connected with narrow cubes to make the wings look more realistic. Then I select everything and duplicate the wing on the other side. Now for the head. Instead of a dragon's head, I leave the human face of the player, but underneath I add a jaw tilted forward. Inside the mouth, I place 2 rows of teeth. The model is complete, and it looks awesome. Just a reminder, this is what the player looked like before, and now this is the upgraded version. He's much taller than a regular player because of his massive wings. The upgraded 456 doesn't get along with other mobs. Because of his massive power, a monster like this can't just roam around on normal ground, so I'm building him a home. I go up 10 blocks and build a platform out of brick. Underneath it, I pour lava, which glows brightly. On each corner, I place iron chains to make it look like the platform is suspended. On top, I add diamond, gold, and emerald blocks to make it feel like a boss lair. In the center, I place a pedestal for the dragon to stand on. The walls of the house are made of glass, so you can watch the dragon from the outside. Everything is done. I rate the layer 10 out of 10, and the character 9 out of 10. The next character I'm going to upgrade is the guard, but this time, I'm turning him into a giant robot. First, I delete all the model parts because I want to build everything from scratch. Now, I start with the legs. I create the lower part of the foot, just regular cubes, but slightly stretched forward and angled. On top of that, I add a rectangular block. Then I place another block a bit higher. I add some dark inserts between the parts for detail. Next, I duplicate the leg and move it to the other side. Now I move on to the body. I take a big cube. This will be the main chest section. On top of it, I add a smaller cube that sticks out a bit in front, kind of like an armored chest plate. Below that, I add a narrow block to serve as a belt. Now, I create the arms. I make them rectangular and bulky. For the hands, I add black blocks. These are the fingers. Then I duplicate the whole arm and place it on the other side. Now for the head. I take a rectangular cube and place it right in the center on top. The model turned out really good. Here's what the robot guard looks like in-game. I honestly didn't expect him to be this huge. The first thing I noticed, he moves very slowly. But if an enemy gets close, he accelerates faster than a car, and his attack is a punch that launches you backward. He also has a massive health pool. Seriously, I hit him 50 times with a diamond sword. He didn't even flinch, because this character is way too powerful. I'm building a home for him. I start with the floor. I use smooth stone and alternate it with deep slate. Every 3 blocks, I insert iron bars. In the center of the room, I make a glass floor with lava visible underneath. The walls are made of iron blocks, and one side is glass, so you can watch the guard. The ceiling is made of iron bars to make sure he definitely doesn't escape. It's done. It looks like a dark arena, so I rate it 5 out of 10, but the model 10 out of 10. The next character I'm going to upgrade is Player 222. First, I delete all parts of the model because I'm going to build him completely from scratch. I start with the central torso block. Then I create the legs using 3 long cubes angled downward. Now I make the head. It's square, like 2 2s, but on each side I attach huge red tentacles. The final step is adding the number 222. Here's what the player looked like before, and here's what he looks like now. This isn't 222 anymore. It's some kind of monster. His main ability is throwing slime that slows down enemies. I have no idea how he does it. Also, you can't damage him with your bare hands, only with a weapon. I won't be building a custom stage for this mob because he's friendly and has very low HP.